If you know a little bit about video game music, and you hear me say the name Yoko Shimomura, the first games she composed the soundtrack for that would come to your mind would probably be Kingdom Hearts or Mario and Luigi. But when I hear the name Yoko Shimomura, the first thing that comes to my mind is also Kingdom Hearts and Mario and Luigi, but also this game. Radiant Historia is a JRPG for the DS developed by Atlus and released in 2010. And I mean, by looking at the reviews, it's pretty good. Like, it has 6 more points than Legends EA, so it has to be a masterpiece, right?
What the hell?
The game tells the story of 2 nations fighting in a brutal war that our protagonist Shulk, Stalk, needs to end with the help of time travel. And although nobody seems to know this game, its music was written by Yoko Shimomura, one of the most legendary video game composers. The story behind how she got to compose the soundtrack is actually kinda funny. A small team at Atlus who was developing Radiant Historia literally just sent her an email in which they basically said, hey, it'd be cool if you could make the music for our game. And Shimomura thought it was a prank at first, before she then realized the email was real and she made the entire soundtrack. And of course, because she made it, it's going to be good, right? Right? Yes, you read the title, it's good. If you're new to this channel, hi, I'm a nerd. And today we'll be analyzing a couple tracks from Radiant Historia, arguably the most underrated soundtrack Yoko Shimomura has written. Before we can start, I need to clarify that Yoko Shimomura is a pretty unique composer. From a theoretical perspective, there's not that much to talk about, because Shimomura's music isn't exactly complicated. But making something simple sound really good is very impressive. Let's start with the main theme. The music starts with this marimba pattern that will repeat throughout the entire track. By the way, if you see any red or yellow notes, that's because the notation software is trying to tell me that that instrument can't play that low. But that doesn't really matter when you're making music digitally. A vibraphone, I think, joins in and plays the main melody, while the marimba still plays the same arpeggiated E minor 9 chord, the tonic of the key. The first intro already establishes a kind of lonely feeling, and the use of percussion instruments is definitely interesting. This theme is then developed further through the addition of strings and, I believe, clarinet, that plays a little fill while the melody rests. The strings have a beautiful melody going on for themselves, playing around with tension building chords and releasing them. We then get a cadence where the marimba also shifts to fit the 7th chord D. We play around with this D. Whoa, why did I write it like that in the script? We play around with this D chord before finally resolving to E minor again. The strings add a lot of color to the music, and the little fills from the clarinet add a new interesting melody. Although Shimomura's chords might be fairly simple, her music definitely has a lot of separate melodies going on at the same time, which leads to a very full and complex sounding piece. The strings take over in this new section and we modulate to C major, where we basically do the same thing as in the last section, just in a new key this time. So again, it's just a 7 to 1. Although the B chord is actually minor instead of the diatonic diminished, which kind of makes it sound a little Phrygian when going back to C because of that semitone movement. A harp also gets added and strums the previously mentioned chords, creating a light sound. The use of time is also very interesting here because the melody extends over to the first beat of the bar, kind of delaying everything. It kind of feels like a 5/4 bar. Also pay attention to the strings here because they have some really nice voice leading going on. After that section that felt really triumphant and kind of royal, which really fits the medieval steampunk-inspired story, we calm down in this outro where the main melody reappears, and the choir sings the new melody in the background. This sudden shift is very interesting because coming from the heroic section and returning back to minor suddenly feels like something is off. It's very melancholic. The game is about war after all, and this shift is kind of a reminder that even after such a heroic passage, there are no winners in war. Dude, that was really cringe. I'm cutting that out. Overall, I'd say this main theme is really well done, and you can definitely tell it's been made by Yoko Shimomura. As a composer myself, I just find it really fascinating how a living composer can have such a recognizable style, and it's definitely one of my favorites. The first area you get to explore in Radiant Historia is the capital of one of the two nations participating in the war. Alistal is an industry-inspired medieval city, and the track that plays there is fittingly named Mechanical Kingdom. This is the nation that the protagonist is fighting for, and it's kind of supposed to be the main base of the game. The music starts with this 4-bar harp motif that will loop for the rest of the piece and has a weird delay effect that I couldn't replicate in my software. A piano plays the tonic note in this pattern, which will also repeat for the rest of the piece. Yeah, this track is pretty repetitive, but it doesn't really feel like that. After this quick intro, a clarinet joins and plays a calming melody over the same harp and piano pattern, consisting of 4+4 bars. Structure-wise, it's pretty similar to the last track, so if you want to see a tutorial on how to imitate Yoko Shimomura's style, leave a comment. And because you already scrolled down, the subscribe button is right there, you know? Maybe we'll get to like 30 subs before the end of the year. That'd be pretty cool. So as I'm recording this, we already hit 50 subs. Thanks. I really didn't expect that, but I guess I gotta set a new goal. So let's get to 67. Yes, let's get to 67 subs before the end of the year. The clarinet melody and the harp make the city sound calm, but on the other hand, the octaves and rhythm of the piano hint at some intensity, like a reminder that there is a war going on. We get a quick transition section where the piano plays these really high patterns that also have an echo effect that I can't replicate in my software. Percussion kicks in and the strings take over the melody, while the clarinet lingers in the background, quietly dropping while echoing the main melody. After a while, a lone cello takes over, playing this tragic melody in the bass, again reminding the listener of the intense situation Alistal is in right now. The low register helps a lot with that. The cello quietly fades and we're back to the transition section with the high piano pattern. You might notice that we haven't changed chords yet, which gives the music this grounded feeling. Towards the end though, this sparkly star effect leads us into a new section that briefly changes up the harmony and sounds really determined. A solo violin takes over the melody, bringing in a new voice, while the harmony drops to C major and then A minor. This sort of chord progression where you start on a minor chord and then drop down by a major and then a minor third sounds really triumphant. While the violin is about to finish its phrase, the cello returns and plays alongside the violin before finally being the only one left. And we return to E minor with this fifth, a B, in the bass. This entire last section to me sounds like a sliver of hope and determination to win the war, and it was basically only like 4 chords for the entire thing. So I guess 4 chords can be enough to make a good piece of music, if you use them well. I can't explain how much I love this game's battle theme. It was my first time experiencing Yoko Shimomura's intense side, and I immediately fell in love with it. Edge of Green is the mini-boss battle theme of this game, and it sounds so much like Yoko Shimomura. People in the comment section of various uploads of this battle theme thought it was a Kingdom Hearts theme at first. I have a similar story actually. Back when I was a Smash Bros addict, I used to fight against bots for hours in hope of getting better so I could one day achieve Elite Smash. Which I never did. And I really liked the Xenoblade stage, so I played on that a lot. And when I heard the Xenoblade battle theme in the background, which was also composed by Yoko Shimomura, I literally thought it was the Radiant Historia battle theme, because I never heard the Xenoblade one before. Anyways, let's actually look at Edge of Green now. The intro to the theme consists of these rhythmic strings playing a 4-bar pattern that will repeat for the rest of the track. Okay, now it's getting predictable. And they're accompanied by this counter melody in the brass, playing these dissonant intervals here like the semitone to the sharp 7. A violin melody enters, and while it rests on the sharp 7th here, a pipe organ plays these inverted C-sharp diminished chords, creating an unsettling dissonance. Also, I still haven't figured out this rhythm, so I just went with this mess here. We now get into the main section, the A part if you will. Again, this A part really doesn't feature a lot of harmonically interesting things to talk about, which is usually the main thing I like to focus on. It's literally just 2 chords again, played in a rhythmic pattern by the strings and brass. We stay on the tonic for 2 bars, briefly shift to the sharp 7 for 1 bar, and then go back to the tonic. While the solo violin plays a melody that mostly consists of these held notes and these cadences that resolve from the sharp 7th to the tonic note. The percussion is also very Shimomura-like and plays a huge role in intensifying the atmosphere. Now, that wasn't the part that made me love this theme, the B section did. We finally get some new harmony and it's simple but really good. We drop from B minor to G major, again creating the heroic major third drop down, like in the last piece. Now the chords are pretty funny because I'll once again have to reference this David Bennett video that everyone has seen by now. If you haven't, he basically talks about the most used chord progression in Japanese media, and we see it in this B section. The progression would be 4, 5, 3, 6, which means we have probably modulated here because the last chord in this progression is B minor, the previous tonic. So either Yoko Shimomura modulated to D, so the B can be the 6 now, which would actually make it a 4, 5, 3, 6, or she stayed in B minor and used that as a starting note, making it a 6, 7, 5, 1. Yeah, let's go with that. Either way, it's the classic Japanese progression, which brings new color and hope into the previously dissonant track. I'll let you listen to it once and try to pay attention to the harmony, and then we'll take a closer look at all the amazing instrument lines. The horns take the main melody now, making it even more heroic, and this transition to the repetition of the section is also heavy and powerful, which is then contrasted through the clarinet taking the melody afterwards. Also, a piano joins in and accompanies with these inverted chords, adding another melodic layer to the music. The last thing I'll mention about this section is that the string pattern at the beginning of the piece is still playing throughout this section, and it has a really amazing role. Previously, the F sharp was the fifth of the B minor chord that was played the entire time. But now, because it's still playing and we're now on G major, it turns the G major into a G major 7 chord, adding even more color. And it shifts to E later, creating another 7th chord, this F sharp minor 7. I want you to listen to the strings now, coming from the previous section, and try to feel how they expand the harmony and drive the music forward. If you can, listen to the piano as well. After that section, we briefly return to the main A part, where the melody is now also played by the brass section and a male choir. That's not really that interesting, but we have a sort of new section after this. All the deep instruments disappear, while the strings and organ play a melody together. This organ melody destroyed me. I know less about organs than I know about fucking bagpipes, and I literally play half of an organ already because I play piano. That's how that works, right? See, I don't even know. I couldn't figure out what the organ is playing, partially because there's some really dissonant intervals going on, and it's really quiet most of the time. I still really like the addition of it, and it definitely gives off this very regal feeling. This section serves as the outro because the main violin riff returns here, and then the piece loops again. Radiant Historia is truly a hidden gem when it comes to great Yoko Shimomura soundtracks. I was originally only going to make this a 10-minute video because I still had a week of school break left, and I thought I could just talk a little bit about why I love this game's vibe and music so much. Turns out this video is how long, editor? Editor? Oh wait, I'm the editor. I really think that if you like the video, you should listen to the entire soundtrack, because it's only like 30 songs and Yoko Shimomura is just really good. I love to talk more about her in different videos, so subscribe if you want to see that. For the remake, she actually composed a whole freaking anime opening for the game, and I'm not really into those, but this one's kinda good. I originally got this game on Christmas when I was like 11, and I was really hyped because I love JRPGs. But when I booted up the game and saw that you could only play it in either Japanese or English, I couldn't speak English at the time, I just kind of forgot about it. A couple years later, when my English got better, I tried playing it again before losing motivation and quitting it. Then, like a year later, I tried playing it again, but I couldn't find the cartridge for like another year. And a while ago, I finally found it. It somehow got under my bookshelf. What the fuck? Yeah, I should probably start another playthrough at some point. Actually, I'm gonna go start a playthrough right now. So I've been playing for like 5 hours already, and like I can't stop. Like, the story is amazing. I definitely think everybody who's still watching should give this game a try, even though the physical copies are kind of expensive nowadays. But I mean, you'll find a way to play it if you really want. The only thing that could stop me from playing right now is if I ran out of battery, because for some reason I can't use this thing while it's charging. Ah, shit.